We would love to list this business. This is
List in the UK?
This is the journey we're on.
Right.
We have specific asks from the UK in policy to ensure that listing in the UK is something that means this company can thrive and is the best decision for our shareholders. And what we would really like to see is those implemented. If we can see these policies put in place, and speaking with Julia Hoggett at the LSE and seeing all the momentum, we're really bullish that there's a lot of momentum in that regard. If those policies are put in place, we don't see why there's any excuse or reason why companies can't list here in this country. If they aren't put in place, of course you're going to find companies looking elsewhere.
Yeah, and look, Philip, have you had a conversation with this with Rachel Reeves?
So fortunately, we've had numerous conversations across both parties.
Yep.
And what I can say is growth is the headline agenda,
Yep.
Technology is the focus,
Yep.
and policies to drive this.
And when they look at the books, they're going to say we need to raise tax from somewhere, so we're going to increase capital gains tax. And no, I'm not saying they're going to, by the way. I'm saying they may well do, and it's done. Every government's always done this. We don't like the look of the books. I'm afraid they're worse than we thought. We're going to have to raise capital gains tax, and actually entrepreneurial allowances that we had given, which were far too generous, we're going to have to tighten those in again. Every government does it. Are you concerned about either of those factors?
Yes. For us, there's certain policies going backwards. Entrepreneurs relief makes no sense at all. We want serial entrepreneurs staying here, building new businesses here. We do not see why that would go backwards. At the same time, interest rates need to come down. We need to incentivize capital to invest in equities. We also need to see some other policies changing, things like how we treat VAT, R&D, and of course we want retail to buy and hold these stocks. Why are retail investors paying stamp duty to buy and hold British stocks, but not American stocks?
Well, I can assure you, I raised this with a British politician very recently who was in the cabinet and, well, not in the cabinet, I beg your pardon, in the wider government. Nah, no chance. You've got no chance losing that. I agree. It's nuts.
It makes no sense. You
It's
could buy a Tesla share for free, but you can't. You have to pay stamp duty on a Rolls-Royce share. We need to incentivize the retail market to buy and hold British stocks. The biggest problem that people perceive with the LSE is liquidity. We need pension funds to invest in British companies.
There isn't one viewer, I reckon, who would disagree with you on that one.
I want to ask you a couple of AI questions, time limited, but first point, do we have the right AI backdrop? Because I noticed that you've teamed up with AWS to try and supercharge your AI, so it feels like the UK is still a bit player in terms of any AI. The other point is, can AI bring any big savings at scale? We're seeing that it can with call centres, for instance, so what is the AI story?
For us, I mean, the short answer is I think we can absolutely operate in the UK and be market leaders, world leaders in AI. I think we give ourselves too less credit than we should. I think we're too harsh on ourselves. We have a fantastic environment to build phenomenal AI businesses. If you look at Zilch, we teamed up with AWS. We're already seeing two things happen: cost efficiencies in tens of millions of pounds coming from the table stakes stuff that you would expect, servicing, we're more efficient in doing this, how we underwrite credit and therefore bad debt performance. And then of course we've got the other side of things, predictive AI, Gen AI, how are we predicting where customers will spend? And our latest deal with AWS means we'll see about £250 million in the next 12 months of additional sales just by that deal. So all of this is going on right now. It's business as usual. Companies are racing ahead. They're not waiting for the next 18 days to happen, by the way. Everyone's operating right now. What we really need to make sure is the policy that comes into place for AI doesn't stifle some of that growth. And we really can be a world leader in this space, if that's true.
Sounds like a revenue raiser then. That's really interesting. Thank you so much. Philip Belamant with us, the CEO and co-founder of Zilch.